It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, and it is my pleasure to be with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. In this game, we'll see the Atlanta Hawks going up against the Brooklyn Nets at Barclays Center. Last outing for Brooklyn, they ended up with a win against the Knicks. After dropping their first matchup with this squad, they won the last one, looking to break the tie tonight. And the topic here, prior to tip-off, so many teams in the league going up-tempo these days. Kenny, as a player, did you like that style? I'm assuming you had to love it.
Because the one thing about playing up-tempo, Ernie, it brings you back to the roots of the game, why you started playing. If you ever go to a pickup game, you ever go to a park game, no one's stopping play and calling plays. They're going up and down. The big fella.
One of the oldest bridges in the United States, the Brooklyn Bridge. Welcome, fans. Thanks for joining us for this Friday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony with Doris Burke on our sideline. Last outing for Atlanta, they won that game against the Wizards in Washington. And guys, it could have gone either way. Nearly won that one by 2.
And they ran their offense nearly to perfection in that one. Very few possessions were wasted.
Yeah, they put the mute button on them that time. I mean, in front of a hostile crowd, they never let the fans get going. They silenced them over and over again with big, timely shots.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the court right now for the Hawks.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
And we have an intentional foul there, GA. Wish I could say why.
That one's pretty strange. I mean, no idea.
8 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Here's Money, buried from outside. But I don't know. I think we may see a review here. That was pretty close. And indeed, they're going to look at it again. They need to be certain he beat the buzzer.
And the footage relayed to the officials.
Both teams have it going here early and still close through the first quarter. It's Atlanta up 1. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. Well, from what you guys are seeing from the Hawks, what are you thinking about their performance?
you know, it's been about how solid they've been offensively here, really tuned in with one another.
Good ball movement, and it's paid off on the scoreboard.
Cake in at point guard. He's out there with E'Twaun Moore. Hollis Jefferson is out there with Cole Aldridge. And it's Outlaw in at the 4 slot. So that's the lineup for Brooklyn.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Yeah, yeah, completely a brain fade. I don't know where that came from. Just lost sense of time and the situation.
And that's an intentional foul. And the foul called on Freak. And so he's picked up. And that concludes the... All right, now, I want everyone here at the bar. Ladies and gentlemen, your Brooklyn. And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half so far. And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, much appreciated, and now let's present our George Brook Lopez. He had just an outstanding fourth quarter performance. He really had the fight. And that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. For me and Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, have a wonderful evening.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Los Angeles Lakers as they go up against the Brooklyn Nets in their house, Barclays Center. Looking at the Nets, things have definitely been looking up for them lately during this midseason stretch. I think pieces are really falling into place for them at this stage. And before we tip off, I just need to ask Shaq, when you think back to great teammates, what are the qualities that make a great teammate?
Well, you want to play the guys who care as much about the game as you do, a guy who puts the team first, a guy who gets you involved, a guy who has the same dreams and aspirations that you have about the game.
Well, that name sounds like Kobe.
It's the Lakers, and they're doing business on the road. It's an interconference NBA matchup. Today's game continues this Brooklyn Nets homestand. And, of course, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. Team moving on here without him.
Well, to say the deal changes the look and feel of this franchise is stating the obvious. I mean, they are a vastly different team than they were a few days ago, obviously looking long-term rather than the short-term.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, trading away a player with his talents is clearly a big...
Changes here. There's 48 seconds left to play here in the first. Here's Money. 9-point game his last outing. Fires for three. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
That's good.
This is why I love his game. You really have to admire his tenacity.
Now, here is Russell, covered by Baker. Porter, no luck.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Got it up. No good on that last second attempt there. Tie game in Brooklyn. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And a moment now to hear from Steven Adams as he reflects back on a life growing up. Hard to imagine growing up in such a huge family, but it sounds like maybe it prepared him for life in the NBA.
Yeah, got him outside of himself and toughened him up a little bit. No question about that. Wow, 18, that's mind-boggling.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And off we go, a close game now starting the second quarter. And from Brooklyn, guys, what jumps out to you stat-wise?
The roof is up right now, guys. It's raining in here. A lot of threes through the first.
Hey, sometimes when it rains, it pours, and they have not let up from beyond the arc.
So for the Lakers right now, we've got Otto Porter Jr. Russell is out there with Kerr, and it's Man in at the 5 spot. And the leaderboard with some point guards who have been getting their hands dirty in the paint lately. Let's take a look at the top rebounding guards of the last 10 games. Second, D'Angelo Russell.
And this is a unique group of players. It's not often we talk about the rebound leaders at the point, but with these guys, it's warranted because of just how well they do it.
And, Greg, I think it gives them an edge over most of their counterparts at the point guard spot. I mean, desire, attitude, and they really look to mix it up. They're not afraid to do anything to help their team's cause.
Pass to Baker. Just 5 on the clock. Jump shot is good. Money's got the lead up to 3 now for the Nets. Last game for the Lakers, it was a loss to the